And when we whoop enough ass, everybody gonna get in line and do right.
Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Welcome. And our program today, what is COINTELPRO? And I'm joined with my awesome co-host, Queen of all queens, Sister Maya. Peace and blessings, Queen. How are you?
Hey, we back. How are you?
Good. I have been looking forward to this subject right here, and this is going to be a good one. So we're dealing with the COINTELPRO. And this piece that we're going to be going over with today is written by Tim Butts. And Tim Butts is a veteran and anti-CIA journalist. Tim is a Vietnam veteran who served in the United States Air Force. After his military service, he became involved with a publication called Counter Spy, which focused on exposing CIA operations. An interview with him from the 1970s shows him discussing the purpose of the publication as fostering public debate on national security issues and raising questions about the CIA activities worldwide. So this should be very, very interesting.
Okay, so, and I want to welcome everybody back to studying with us on Tuesday. Thank you very much for those who come back. And just a little AI overview of what I pulled up on my end, because we're not COINTEL experts. We're just, reading this information and learning together. On my end, what I have is that in 1976, Counter Spy was the name of an American magazine that focused on exposing and analyzing covert operations, particularly those undertaken by the United States government. It was the official publication of the Committee for Action/Research on the Intelligence Community, better known as CARIC or CARIC. The magazine published 32 issues between 1973 and 1984, and its headquarters was in Washington, D.C. The PDF file that we're reading tonight, if I'm not mistaken, was that 1976. Okay. So this looks like this is one of the articles from Counter Spy that was written in the spring of 1976. A little bit more about it. Counter Spy magazine aimed to unveil and scrutinize covert actions, specifically those involving the CIA and other intelligence agencies. Articles covered various aspects of covert operations, including CIA activities around the world, United States interference in foreign labor movements, and the link between multinational corporations and intelligence agencies. The magazine served as the official bulletin for the Committee for Action Research on the Intelligence Community, indicating a strong connection to activists and research groups concerned with intelligence activities. 1976 was also the year of the United States bicentennial, a significant milestone in the country's history. And it also says that in one instance, Counter Spy published an analysis of the Posse, I think that's POSSE, is that Posse or Pose Comitatus movement, describing it as a right-wing parliamentary organization. So this article is rich, it's full. When I read it, I have to pause because it has a lot of information to really make us step back and think about how the United States government functions, like how they operate. Like they are so covert and they are diabolical, the things that they would do to their own people to stay in their position of white supremacy. So we are in for another wild ride. And again, Maurice, thank you for having me back. Thank you to all of you that come back to study with us. And I am so ready to learn.
Most definitely. Always. This is your home too. So we're definitely glad that you're here. You're taking us up to a different level, and we definitely appreciate that. All righty.
All right. COINTELPRO, Psychological Warfare and Magnum Justice. Quote, manipulating police and rival political factions like markers on a Monopoly game board, the FBI neutralized the Black Panther Party in the most brutal sense of the word, end quote. And don't we know that to be true?
Mm-hmm.
The goal was to neutralize the party, and they did a really good job of doing that. For 15 years, the Federal Bureau of Investigation managed a coordinated program of infiltration, disruption, and Black propaganda that was mandated and controlled by the highest officials of the Bureau, known as the Counterintelligence Program or COINTELPRO in FBI Newspeak. These operations combine the most vicious aspects of psychological warfare and officially sanction vigilante terrorism against dissidents and non-whites who challenge the policies of the American government. In its wake, the COINTELPRO actions of the FBI shattered many lives. Jobs were lost, homes broken. The sound. Let me say that again. In its wake, the COINTELPRO actions of the FBI shattered many lives. Jobs were lost, homes broken up, reputations ruined, organizations crippled and decimated, and people were killed. For Bunchy Carter, John Huggins, Mark Clark, and Fred Hampton, COINTELPRO was more than a psychological warfare operation against them and the Black Panther Party. It was a death warrant to have them killed without making the direct connection to the Bureau itself. 7 general areas of counterintelligence operations have been described publicly by the FBI, but evidence produced in court trials and congressional investigations indicate that other areas also existed. Although the FBI is quick to claim to the press that the COINTELPRO was abolished in 1971, they are just as quick to admit quietly to their friends that they have abandoned only a consolidated program and not the tactics of counterintelligence. Let's pause right there and deep dive. What are you thinking?
Well, the first thing for me, where they talk about vigilante, by officially sanctioning vigilante terrorism against dissidents and non-whites who challenge the policies of the American government. That's one thing that stood up in my mind to like, okay, well, what was this? So I understand vigilante would be somebody not in a quote unquote official capacity, and they're going out committing terrorism against the people that the COINTELPRO are targeting. And then by definitely saying non-whites. So it's like, so the whites who, like the whites who broke into the FBI and came up with the COINTELPRO files, the Underground Weathermen group, that was an all-white group who broke into FBI offices and came up with these files and published them so everybody could know what the FBI has been doing. So is it to say that the white groups who were against the government were not vigilantes, wasn't sick on them to use terrorism tactics on them, just on non-whites, just on black folks? That's one thing that sticks out. And then for Bunchy Carter, John Higgins, Mark Clark, and Fred Hampton, as they say that COINTELPRO was more than a psychological warfare operation against them and the Black Panther Party. It was a death warrant to have them killed without marking the direct connection to the Bureau itself. So how many other people have these bastards had killed that we don't even know about? That they sanctioned executions of our people, and we don't even know. We don't even know what happened. We don't know why they were dead. I was looking at a 9/11 documentary while I was at work listening to it, and it talked about one man who was in the building during 9/11 taking pictures, and he survived when the towers came down. He survived. His pictures survived, and then 1 year later, he was accidentally killed riding his motorcycle.
Allegedly, mysteriously, right?
Exactly, right. And that just like that don't sound too right. They killed this man. And so these are the tactics that they do. How many of our people have been killed and we don't even know nothing about it? These people are very, very sinister.
They are. And the whole connection here is that they don't want to have their fingerprints on it.
Yes.
They want to, it says, without making a direct connection to the Bureau itself, which consisted of who? The highest officials in the Bureau itself. The people who pledge to uphold and defend the Constitution are the same people who were mandating and controlling then and now the tactics used to do what? Shatter people's lives.
Exactly.
Take your jobs. Break up your home. The black man got to get out the home if we do what? Give you some welfare.
Exactly.
Ruin your reputation. Just like Andrew Gillum. Remember, Andrew Gillum was running for the position of the Florida governor. And I said that was the doing. I believe that the DeSantis crew had a lot to do with that. And they went undercover and they started to do research and learn that this man, he's bisexual, he's married, he cheats on his wife with male escorts, and he's doing drugs. And that ruined his reputation to the extent where he dropped out of the race. What about Mary and Barry? Because it's not that they're not doing drugs. It's not that they're not being unfaithful to their wives. They are.
Yep.
But they're going out of their way to get information, to get the scoop on people because they know who they want in positions. They also cripple organizations. And even worse, they kill people. And one thing I know about the United States government, when they start saying mysteriously,
yes,
that's how you know they were involved.
Yep.
That's how you know.
Exactly. And one thing about Marion Barry, and I'm gonna go ahead and say, I knew him personally. He was a friend of mine, but he loved our people. And our people loved him. And when he got set up in the drug sting in the room with the prostitute, our people ran down to that damn hotel as they were bringing him out, and they were saying, "We with you, Mayor. We with you. We got your back. We with you." And the United States government went after him. He went and did his time, went through the little program, came back out, ran for mayor again, and won. And white folks didn't like it. Couldn't do nothing about it to him. But what they said was, well, since you're not out of that seat, we're going to punish the residents of D.C. until you get the hell up out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happened. And then, he got out. Somebody else came in and he ran for city council and was a member of city council. But Marion Barry was definitely a good person for our people. He really did his best to make things right for our people in DC. And we've never had a mayor like him since. We haven't had a mayor like him since.
Mhm.
and it's a shame. But
They know who they want in position.
exactly.
And if you dare run against them, they will dig up everything in your past and find out what it is in
Hmm.
your life that is scandalous, and they will bring it to light.
Hmm.
And what's interesting, it says that they claim that it has been abolished. That was in 1971. He said, but no, to understand, they're still using the tactics.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
still using it. We see it. They are still using these tactics today.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And we really have to be aware of them. We have to be aware of them because hey, you may never know. You may not understand, but you may get a letter in the mail. You may get a letter in your email, and you thinking it's from somebody else, and it's actually from them.
Hmm.
And that's the real deal. That is the real deal. Mm.
So scroll down to the first picture, if you will, because you and Doc were talking about the Black Panther Party on Sunday, and you
Mhm.
all were mentioning that they were integrationists.
Right.
Can you give us a little bit of what you all were talking about?
Yes. So, in my studies, I came to find out that they were integrationists. They had members of the Black Panther Party that were non-white. I mean, that were non-black. You had Asian members. You had white members. They worked across racial lines to try to establish more and more things. And as they said, power to the people. They meant power to all people, power to red people, power to black people, power to white people. They were power to the people. They were not an organization that was set up strictly for the benefit of black people. They
Mm-hmm.
were an organization set up strictly for the best of the American people. And that was their way. Their way, they disagreed with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because he taught that the white man was the devil. Huey Newton and Bobby Seale disagreed with that. They believed that you can still work with the white man. He ain't got to be your enemy. It's not the man, it's the policies.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why that is incorrect, because the policies comes out the minds of men and women, just like a spider web come out the being of a spider. So it's they use that line, it's not the people, it's the policy, to make you think that it's something other than what it actually is. And that you, when you boil it down, it is the people, because it is the people that produces these policies because it comes out of their minds. So while we're saying the white man is the devil, they're saying no, the white man is not the devil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the policies of these white people that we got to change, because there's good in everybody, there's bad in everybody. The enemy is the policy. So they went towards the red book, the Chinese red book of Mao, and they embraced that as the way forward. Um, I don't know many black people that would actually embrace communism on a full-time thing. I know that what's his name? Um, the singer Paul Robeson. Paul
Mm-hmm.
Robeson. He embraced communism for a minute, but when it was finally understood that it doesn't matter whether you're a communist, whether you're an American, whether you whatever form of government it is, whenever you have the balance of white and black, the white is always on the top and the black is always on the bottom. And that power dynamic is there and it spreads around. So it doesn't matter the system of government that you're in when you're dealing with them. That dynamic of them on top and us on the bottom, it just doesn't work with us. It just doesn't. And so we have to establish our own. We have to establish our own form of government. Stop relying on the white man system. Stop relying on the Jew man system. Stop relying on these systems and rely on our own system that we create out of our own minds, that will give us the freedom, the justice that we're looking for. And understand that our enemy is our enemy, and they are our enemy just as natural as the cat is the enemy of the dog, as the mice is the enemy of the cat. It's just natural. That is the way it is. When you find those ones that's out there that's willing to go and stand up for Black folks, you have to watch and see what kind of stand up do they really mean. Do they mean to stand up like John Brown did and said, I'm gonna put a bullet in your ass and carry it out? Or they the kind that say, I'll stand with you, I'll go protest and march with you, then I'm coming home and sit down. Because then that person ain't doing a damn thing for you either. So we really have to be able to take this thing down and spread it apart. And, you know, on Saturday, when Doc and I go deep into this, you will definitely see and learn things that will probably surprise you when it comes to who is the Black Panther Party, or who were the Black Panther Party in reality, because a lot of their members are still around. They're still living. They ain't dead. They're still here. And why aren't they, if they were in this thing, if this is what they love for the freedom of our people, and our people still not free, but they're not out there activating and doing things that, you know, you would think that they would do, there's a problem. There's a problem. How many have sold out for their comfortability? How many have taken the check over fighting for what's right for your people? And I truly believe you can honestly do both. You can still make your money and still fight for the justice of your people. It's not one or the other. You can do both. You can make it happen.
So Maurice, considering the fact that, as you just stated, the Black Panther Party were integrationists. If they were integrationists, were they really a threat to the United States government?
No, they weren't a threat to the United States government as such, but that breakfast program and teaching Black children to love other Black people, that was the threat, because it sows into the minds of Black children Black love, Black pride, Black self-sufficiency. And you can't have that and be a good stand-up member, a good stand-up citizen that will be willing to give your life for the defense of a country that don't give a damn about you. So it interferes with the programming, with the dumbing down of Black children. That's why he said the breakfast program, not the Black Panthers, but the breakfast program that they operate is a danger, is a grave danger to the United States of America.
But that couldn't have been the greatest danger. Would you think that also self-defense would have been one of the greatest dangers that they posed to the United States government?
No.
Over the breakfast program?
Nope. No.
Wow.
Because when you can affect the mind of a child, and remember, they know, the FBI and them, the government, they know what the road ahead is for Black people. It's already been planned. But if you can put a strong sense of Black self in the mind of a child, and as they're growing up and they're seeing the evil and the wickedness that society is offering to Black people and how society is treating Black people, it will make a change in them and how they see and understand white people, how they see and understand the American government, and they will not be willing to go and give their lives for a government who hasn't given a damn thing to them but terror and death day after day after day.
Have
And
you seen the documentary, the Vanguards of the Revolution?
I believe I have, because the name sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I
That was a
believe
very good documentary.
I don't remember everything. I don't remember anything that took place in it, but I do recall the name, and I believe I did see it.
Yeah, Vanguards of the Revolution. What's interesting, the reason why I asked you that is because, you know, they had Black Panther parties all over. People were just springing up saying that they were members of the Black Panther Party who had never met Fred or Bobby.
Right.
So even though it was an organization, it was very disorganized.
Right.
And people were just popping up offices saying that they're a Panther, putting their own shit together. And it was a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fred was always in and out of jail and in prison.
Mm-hmm.
He spent most of his time in prison
Exactly.
and not actually working with party members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a good documentary.
Yeah. And one thing that I want us to make sure we realize is that they had Black Panther Party, well, not quote unquote Black Panther Party, but they had organizations over in Britain and other parts where white countries are of Black people that were taking a stand of what they thought the Black Panther Party was taking a stand on.
Mm.
And they didn't integrate. They didn't look to say the white man is my brother.
Mm-hmm.
They went out trying to liberate and do the things that the Black Panthers claimed that they were about being truly Black, being truly Black-centered,
Mm-hmm.
not looking out to give out a red book and to push people to read what Mao is saying. They were pushing people to read what Malcolm is saying. And so, that is a very clear delineation between these groups. But they looked at the Panthers and said, damn, that's Black, that's powerful. But when they start to learn what undergirds it, then they were able to make their own delineation and say, no, we're not looking to Mao. We're looking to follow the Black ideology that Malcolm X exposed or expounded on.
And you know what? And that is what Huey P. Newton talked about in his book, Revolutionary Suicide. He stated specifically that he wanted to carry Malcolm's torch. Literally, he was, I don't want to use the word fanatic, but he was a Malcolm baby. He loved Malcolm X. And he believed in Malcolm X. And Malcolm X got his teachings from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Exactly.
And he stated in his book that it was his, like, pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was his life mission in the founding of the Black Panther Party. And he also, if I'm not mistaken, talked about Robert Williams. So if you got Robert Williams and the teachings of Malcolm X, and both of them saying self-defense, Huey P. Newton said he was carrying that torch. So for me to hear you say that they're integrationists, I'm thinking, like, what shifted in his mind? Because, but then again, Robert Williams said, look, he really, maybe he was on the integrationist train as well. Maybe he was. And it really gets down to the bottom of, you got to choose a side. Right? We really have to choose a side. And I think that sometimes we get caught up to where we look at, but we do have some good people. But just like Muhammad Ali said, if you got 1,000 or 10,000 snakes and all of them are coming at you, I don't have time to pick and choose which one is the good one and which one is the bad one. I got to shut the door on all of them.
Yeah.
So you want to sit under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, but sit under the teaching, sit under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, but okay, you want to go and be friends with the white people.
Mm-hmm.
And we see so many people who took that route. His son, Malcolm, falling by the wayside. Fred just falling by the wayside. We really have to choose a side.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know, I saw a video, and I've been trying to find it all day, where Fred Hampton is being interviewed by white journalists, and they keep having to stop the interview, tell him what to say it, tell him what to say, tell him how to say it, and okay, start the interview over. And they did this like 3 or 4 times. And I'm watching this and I'm like, why is he allowing them to put words in his mouth?
Really?
Yes. Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I gotta find this so I can show it to you, so you can see what the fuck I'm looking at, because this is just unreal. And for the news people to have it and then release the shit, it really says a lot, because it lets you know and understand that the words that he was speaking wasn't even his damn words. The white man is telling them to say these things and telling them how to say it in the interview. So it's like, where was their leadership development? Because he's a young brother. I think he was still in his teens. He's a young brother, and he's running the whole Chicago chapter or the Illinois chapter of the Black Panthers. There's no leadership development for him. To me, that just didn't make sense at all. And I hope I find it so you can see it, because that's a serious problem. That's a real serious problem.
Okay. All right. COINTELPRO, as an exercise in psychological warfare, can best be understood by comparing its stated purpose with the military side war purpose. According to internal FBI memoranda, the counterintelligence program was designed to expose, disrupt, and neutralize targeted groups through the use of rumors, lies, half-truths, and government quote-unquote front organizations. COINTELPRO could be termed a disinformation program. That's sickening to know that they would sit in a planning room and literally in the what they call them, like a drawing board, where they go in the little room, and have a goddamn meeting to come up with rumors and lies and half truths. To conjure that out of your spirit and your mind. You got to be a sick motherfucker to wake up in the morning, take your shower, get ready for work, drink your coffee, get in your car, get on the highway, go to work, and go to a meeting to come up with lies and fucking rumors. And you get paid to do it.
Exactly.
And as you're sitting there, okay, well, don't say it like this, say it like that. Now put this in, and then say, because you got to make it the way you want it to be. You got to make that lie as good and perfect as possible.
Exactly.
This is crazy. Rumors, lies, half truths, and using front organizations of the government. Disinformation. Psychological warfare is similarly defined by the Department of Defense and the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the official Department of Justice Dictionary of Military and Associated Terms. Psychological warfare is the planned, PLANNED, planned use of propaganda and other measures designed to influence the opinions, emotions, attitude, and behavior of enemy, neutral, or friendly groups in support of current policy and aims. A look at the major components of COINTELPRO show that it is compatible with this definition of psychological warfare. Look how they influence the way we think, the way we behave, the way we feel, the attitudes that we have with one another, the behavior that we display in our community and in our families. It is all designed. It's done by design. And they sit in boardrooms and let me tell you something I forgot what college this is. I was looking in the sports magazine, and there's a college university, and a lot of these college universities, they bring the black football players in because you already know they bring in money and they want to win. And I don't know what school it was, but when somebody makes a touchdown, they take a big a fake gold chain, and they put the gold chain on the players who are predominantly black. And I said to myself, that's some racist ass shit. That's some racist ass shit to take a chain and put it around a goddamn black man's neck to celebrate the fact that he made a fucking touchdown. You know why? Because as soon as these niggas get some money, one of the first things they do is go out and buy some goddamn jewelry. Have you ever seen these rappers sitting on the sideline with chunk chains and all kind of jewelry and diamonds and shit? Looking fucking stupid.
Exactly.
In many instances, that is the highest of their objective, just to get jewelry to show off. Show it off. And the thing about it is, I don't wear gold and I don't have diamonds because our people are being exploited for those resources.
That's right.
So I don't wear gold, and you can't give me no diamonds. I don't want it. Because I know that some Black person in Africa is being exploited, not receiving a proper education. They're not receiving fair pay. They're being brutalized and treated unfair just to mine gold. And I would not have a part of that. They influence our behavior with the music that we listen to, the television shows that we see on TV, the conversations that we have, the way we think with these real housewives of every city. It's disgusting. When you see Black women now, like women now 20, 30, and 40 years old, I feel really bad for Black men. I do. Let me tell you something. A lot of these women with these fake ass wigs and these lace front, the stupid ass baby hairs, eyelashes and shit, veneers and all them long ass nails and BBLs and shit. That's not beautiful.
No, it's not.
That is not beautiful. That's pressure, and it's a problem, and it's not attractive. And I really do think that real men, they don't like it. Like Corey Holcomb said, that's just something to play with. And you have a lot of women that think, okay, if I put this wig on and I put on these lashes and I get my BBL, do my breasts, do my butt, and I dress a certain way, it's going to make me the it girl. No, it makes you look stupid. Real men don't like that.
Very stupid.
They're heavily influenced by what they see on social media, and that is not how our women are beautiful.
Exactly. I was shocked the other day when I was looking at Michelle Obama, and she got the damn eyelashes on. And it's like, God damn, what are you doing with them big, ugly ass eyelashes on?
Damn.
I just would never have expected her to do that shit. But when I saw it, I'm like, oh my God.
I've never worn fake eyelashes. Never in my life. I have never, ever had fake eyelashes in my life. I put on one of those lace front wigs one time because my fiance asked me to do it. And as soon as I left that girl's shop, my scalp started itching right in the front, on my forehead. It just started itching really bad, and I was scratching. It was so bad I had to rip it. Like I took it off my head, and my hair, it doesn't grow back full the way it used to in that spot. It's not bald at all, but I can tell that it's not as full as it used to be. And I'm so glad that I went through that experience so that I never did it again. Because a lot of women, when they take off those wigs and that glue, they have alopecia because the glue gets stuck in the hair follicle.
Wow.
And once that glue gets stuck in the hair follicle, it's hard for the hair to grow through it. So from there, I said never again. I was like, nigga, you're gonna have to take me how the fuck I am, or that's it. I'm not doing this shit. Fuck
know
that.
that's
Take
right.
me as I am, a big bye bitch, because I'm not doing it. Your mama, your sister wear all that shit. I'm not them. You finna take me as I am. And my hair was beautiful, beautiful, thick, long hair. Like, are you what the fuck am I putting a wig on and my goddamn hair past my shoulders?
Exactly.
Thick as hell, look better than a wig. I was like, if you don't get your ass out my face, wear some makeup, babe. Why don't you wear some makeup? Because I don't want to. Because I don't want to. Yeah.
Nope. I don't like that stuff either.
So he say, what he say, rumors, lies, half truths.
And you know what, that when you read that, what jumped in my mind, you said when we was doing the Fall of America, think about it. This is what these movies that they sit down and make, this comes up out of their mind. This is how that they think. They're showing you exactly what they think, how they think.
That's right.
And that was a grand eye opener to say, look, you want to see what the mind of a maniac is? Here you go, watch it right here.
Yeah.
And you know, these same people sit down in these rooms and to come up with rumors, lies, and half truths just to destroy people. These are demons.
Remember the television show with, I forgot who produced this show. It was with Terrence Howard. What's the girl's name whose grandfather was the first to go to one of the polls? Taraji P. Henson. I forgot the name of the show, but it was very, 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 it was extremely popular. And I watched the show up until one particular episode, and I said, this is definitely a part of the agenda, and I will not have it, because they had a lot of people glued to that program. It was very intense. And for the most part, you know, I enjoyed watching it. But this particular scene, their ratings dropped, and I don't think they ever recovered. They had a son who was a Rainbow Card member. And he was in the office and he was engaging another man in the office. And so he turned around, bent over the desk to get ready for the other man to mount him. And that's when I said, I'm done. I said that I'm done. And I said all that to say, why are they showing that to us on television? Because that is what they do behind closed doors. They have a movie called Hostel. I never forget when I went to go see Hostel, like I realized people do this shit for real. Like if you want to kill somebody, you can go to Europe and pay for that experience. Literally.
Say what?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. They show you in film what they're actually doing in real life. And there is a movie called Hostel. And you could kill, like, let's say you have a fantasy that you want to kill someone. Let's say I want to kill somebody and drain all their blood in the bathtub. I can go and kill them and literally have the whole experience and just pay for it. They do this. These people are literally, you know, there's no limit to what they won't do. There's no limit to what they won't do. These people like money, and whatever it takes to get it, they'll do it. And they show us in film. Another film to show us the dark side of these Europeans is Taken. I didn't really know much about human trafficking and the sex trafficking until I watched Taken. And not only were they taking young girls, they were taking babies. It was one little girl. She had to be around 4 or 5 years old. She was sexually assaulted to the extent that she had disease, and he just, they just ravaged her little body. And so one of the guys who was a trafficker, because once they abuse that baby, a grown man abusing a little girl and she's full of disease and drugged up, because they drug them too to have the experience. The little girl was so sick, there was nothing that they could do. So one of the traffickers took her. He was big and burly, but you could tell like he was in the gym. He was muscular. He took her outside and just broke her neck. So that is what they do. When you go watch these films, you're watching what they do in real life. Literally.
Wow.
So the use of rumors, lies, and half-truths is commonly called Black propaganda operations, and is a well-established custom within the intelligence community. The FBI used Black propaganda, which was a national choice of tactics, given the goal of COINTELPRO to neutralize the opposition by manufacturing or exploiting weaknesses. They will exploit your weakness. That is why my fiance, one of the greatest, he was not a perfect man. He was not the kindest to me, but he was definitely my advisor, and I love him for that. And I never forget, and I told you this story, I was going through it at work, and I wanted to hurt somebody. And he was so mad at me, he cursed me out. He was like, bitch, you better be above reproach. And I was like, what are you talking about? Above reproach. And basically what he's saying is, you got to be above people and they stupid shit. Don't let people pull you down. Go above and beyond to be who you are. Walk in your righteousness. Do right when nobody is looking, because you never know what direction you're going, and these people will exploit your weaknesses. They exploited Andrew Gillum's weakness. They exploited Marion Barry's weakness. They will exploit your weakness. So when you know that you are greater than the weak links, you got to be above reproach. And you got to do what's right, say what's right, walk in your rightness, because when they see the weakness in you, they will definitely exploit that.
That's right.
They're masters at it. They knew that Malcolm had a weakness. They knew he had a weakness.
Yep.
And they got to him and exploited it.
That's right. Yeah, they measure when you speak the power that you speak with. They got a machine that actually measures that shit to see whether you really believe what you're saying or you just talking.
Wow.
Yes. They measure that shit. They measure it. So they know when the real deal is on the scene from when somebody just bullshitting. And I learned that while I was in the military, that they measure that shit.
Now, K-Frame said The Purge. You ain't lying on that. You ain't lying on Purge. Let me tell you something. I remember the first time I remember when I went to the movie theater to see Purge. My daughter, she watches horror films. I don't know if she still watches horror films, but I know when she was growing up, she would watch horror films. And I don't watch horror films. Ever since I was a child, I hated it. And I really don't like horror films being played in my house because spirits can transfer. But nevertheless, she took me to see Purge, but I would always allow her to choose the movie. And let me tell you something. I was so goddamn mad when I was sitting there watching that film. I say, these motherfuckers showing us what they gonna do. They are so did you see Purge?
I sure did.
From 7 at night, from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. There is no government. It's nothing. It's anarchy, literally. And while people are out living out their fantasies and killing people, The goddamn government officials are in bunkers watching this shit on a big ass screen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just watching it on a goddamn screen.
Mm-mm-mm.
I say they showing us what they want to do to us.
Yep. Yep. Mm-mm-mm.
He says the United States Army teaches students at the Army Special Warfare Center at Fort Bragg that vulnerabilities can best be exploited by means of Black propaganda, and it requires great care and secrecy. This is what they're teaching.
Exactly.
How to exploit people's weaknesses, how to create propaganda to hurt Black people, and to do it with care and in secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
That's some shit right there.
Exactly.
And this is our government.
Mm-hmm.
And it has not been abolished. The tactics are still being used today. Let me ask you a question. What kind of Black propaganda, do you have any examples of Black propaganda that the United States government has used against us?
Not that I know right off the bat of how they are applying it, because that's one of the things that raises his head. Why is it called Black propaganda? Because we know propaganda is nothing but lies. But why are they calling it Black propaganda? I don't know.
Yeah. I would like to know some examples of Black propaganda. It said a Black propaganda falsely claims a message or image was created by the opposition in order to discredit them. So maybe like when they go to one gang, let's say for example, they go to one gang and like GANG gang, and they say something negative about another gang that's simply just not true to start trouble between both gangs. Would you say that's an example of Black propaganda? And they do that, and they actually have done that and probably are still doing it today?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the case. They use Black propaganda against Martin Luther King. They use Black propaganda against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They use it against Malcolm X. That it is something that is often used under that definition of it. It is definitely something often used. And it's something that we have to make sure that we are aware of. We have to be aware of what's going on and how they use information, because information is the key. And so when they get the information, it's from a trusted source or somebody friend, and is used to discredit or deceive or manipulate the target audience. So, for example, when they use it against King and he was out there cheating on his wife, they made the tape of it and told him, you better go kill yourself or we're going to send this to your wife. And they did exactly that. They sent it to her while she was in the hospital. While she laying in the hospital, they sent it to her. Now, to her credit, she heard it and she denied the whole time that it wasn't her husband. But we know she know what her husband sound like.
Mm-hmm.
But she ate it. She never went out there and blasted her husband. I'm quite sure she probably said some words to him personally, but she never went out there and blasted her husband like they thought she would do. She never did that. She backed her husband even when he was dead, and they were still asking her about it. What about the affairs he had on you? And he never did that. He never had an affair. He was a good man. He was my husband. He was a provider, and he stayed to the limits of our marriage. He never went beyond that. And that was her staying to the grave. But the enemy uses that and throws it out and throws it out, and then goes to his friend, Ralph Abernathy, who King said while he was living, this is the best friend I have in the whole world. And when his friend went to go write the book, they said, oh, hold on, you got to put in here the sexcapades of Dr. King. We're not going to push this book without it, because then you're not telling the full truth. So he bucked and put the shit in his book, and then they went and pushed the book out. Mm-hmm. And he's supposed to be Martin's best friend. Crazy.
And you know, there's some, now that I think about it, because I was doing some research on in the autobiography of Malcolm X as told by Alex Haley. And in the book I actually have in my hand right now, but I don't have my highlights in this book because this is not the actual. When I first read the book, it was I had another one. I just bought this one because I marked the other one up crazily. But when Malcolm X talks about the day his father was murdered by the Black Legion, I recall that he threw some shade. Now we know that Alex, it says as told by Alex Haley. So we know that Alex wrote this book, right? And so speaking of propaganda, they threw shade at Elijah Muhammad without calling his name when Malcolm was talking about his dad. He was pretty much saying, you know, trusting someone and learning how something about the extent of like I gotta get it for you. Damn, I wish I had it. Oh, I wish I had it highlighted. But I said all that to say they threw some goddamn shade or propaganda out there on Elijah Muhammad early in the book. And because I know who he was talking about, I was like, this motherfucker. Because, you know, in the book, they do talk about the situation that was going on with the young women. They do. But when I read the book again, I was like, this motherfucker was throwing shade at Elijah Muhammad right out the gate. So that was a part of the propaganda to make Elijah Muhammad look like shit. But if you didn't know that, you would have missed it. But because I know that, I was like, this motherfucker was throwing shade at Elijah. Damn, it was so intentional. Okay, your daddy died. Why you bringing this shit up about Elijah? This shit don't compare. Exactly. But because you want to create this propaganda and make Elijah Muhammad look like shit to change our opinion about him, you throwing shade like we don't know. No, we know. Those of us that know, we know. Yep. Oh, we know. It's crazy. So he said, great care, and secrecy were the watchwords of COINTELPRO. Had it not been for the burglary of the FBI resident agency office in Medea, Pennsylvania on March 8, 1971, the existence of COINTELPRO may have never been uncovered. In that burglary, internal FBI memos were stolen and later released to the press. And you know what I hate? When they redact information. That should be illegal. They should not be able to redact information. If we have to do a part 2, I do have some information about a letter that was written to Martin Luther King by the FBI. A magazine company got their hands on the unredacted copy and they released it. And I have it on I think I have it in my phone, and we'll read that. And I also want to read some information of how they were able to gather information on Martin Luther King. They were working 24/7, 365.
Most definitely.
Literally. These goddamn white people was burning midnight oil to gather information on these people. It was nothing that they would not do. It was nothing that they would not do to get what they wanted. And analysis of the documents showed that 45% of the FBI memos dealt with criminal activities, 1% with organized crime, 14% with draft and military resistance to the Vietnam War, and 40% with other political activities. Among the political activities documents were several relating to the counterintelligence program. An order to terminate COINTELPRO came within 6 weeks of the burglary, shortly after the documents were released to the press. NBC reporter Carl Stern read the media papers and, sensing an important story, he filed a Freedom of Information request for the documents authorizing the program. After a 2-year legal battle, the FBI released some of the documents to Stern. Stern's attorney, Ronald Plesser, pursued the matter and finally forced the Bureau to release a second series of documents. From Plesser and Stern's work came the first flood information on COINTELPRO. 2 years to release information. 2 years is a long time to get rid of some shit.
It sure is. It sure is.
Since the first documents released to Stern and Plesser on December 7, 1973, there have been 2 major lawsuits focused on COINTELPRO. One suit has been brought by the Socialist Workers' Party and Young Socialist Alliance against the FBI, CIA, and various government officials. The second suit was brought by the survivors of the December 4th, 1969 raid on a Black Panther Party apartment and the relatives of 2 men killed in the raid, Mark Clark and Fred Hampton. Do you know whatever happened with that lawsuit?
I know she sued them, and I think she settled out of court for, I think it was like $8 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, was that his wife in the room with him? With Fred Hampton? He had his I say baby mama, but was that his child's mother or was that his wife? Because it was
I don't think they were married.
Yeah, she was in bed with him pregnant, right? When the bullets was ringing out.
Right. She was in bed
thank
with him.
God she didn't die.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, and also too, look at Malcolm X's father. They're suing for money too.
Mm-hmm.
For how much? Do you remember how much they were suing for?
No.
Yeah, they're trying to bring a lawsuit against the United States government for this foolishness. The recent House and Senate, stop me whenever you want to. The recent House and Senate intelligence investigations revealed a mass of previously unknown facts around the FBI and COINTELPRO. From these major sources, it is possible to see how COINTELPRO developed as a psychological warfare activity. So now we're at how COINTELPRO began. You ready? He must have stepped away.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, you had went silent.
Oh, I'm still here. You went silent too.
We are on October 12th, 1961?
No, we're at how COINTELPRO began. Go up some. No, go down. Scroll down. Right there. How COINTELPRO began. We're right there. Stop.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to look at its origins. You have any commentary before we go on?
Not yet.
I want to know, you have your cell phone with you?
Yes.
Can you look up how much that Fred Hampton and Mark Clark settlement was?
Okay.
Let's just pause because I want to see. If anybody in the chat knows, you're welcome to chime. 1.85 million.
What?
In 1982, a $1.85 million settlement was reached in the civil rights lawsuit stemming from the 1969 police raid that killed Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. The settlement, listen to this, the settlement was divided among the families of Hampton and Clark, as well as other surviving members of the Black Panther Party who were involved in the raid. The financial burden was shared by the city of Chicago, Cook County, and the federal government. So they had to split that money up many ways.
No wonder they broke.
They had to split that shit up. And not to mention, they had to pay the attorneys.
Yep.
The attorneys already took, what, 33%?
Exactly, right off the top.
They already took 33%. So your little, what, 66% spread out between all these goddamn people? Yeah. The settlement was reached after years of legal battles, including an 18-month trial. And it just said the lawsuit alleged that law enforcement officers violated the civil rights of the Black Panther members. 1.85 million.
Wow.
That's not enough.
No, it's not. I know the son was still trying to raise money to buy the house.
Oh, the house that it happened in?
Mm-hmm.
They used it as what? As a memorial or a museum?
Yes, I don't know. But that's what he was trying to raise the money to buy the house. And, and I was like, when I first came across that, I'm like, trying to raise money. Y'all ain't got no money? And I'm thinking, I'm like, I know y'all probably sued the government and had to win. But 1.85, and then they had to split that amongst other people. No wonder they broke. That's nothing. That's nothing.
Especially to a bunch of people who never really had anything, and they were already living in impoverished conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
How COINTELPRO began. The first FBI counterintelligence operation was initiated in 1956 and targeted against the Community Party USA. According to former Attorney General Zaxby, the effort was justified by a prevailing view in Congress and the American people that the federal government should take appropriate steps against domestic subversion. Perhaps the real reason J. Edgar Hoover's personal dissatisfaction and frustration with the failure of the government to imprison communists. The Smith Act, designed to destroy the CP-USA and the Socialist Workers' Party, had failed in its goals. Of 141 people indicted under the Smith Act, only 29 ever served time in prison. When the Supreme Court ruled in 1957 that advocacy of a doctrine or evil intent was still covered by the First Amendment, the Smith Act lost its main thrust. It became clear to Hoover that other steps had to be taken. I've never heard of the Smith Act. You?
No, I've never heard of that either.
So he said, so basically he's saying that COINTELPRO was designed to destroy the CP-USA. What's the CP? Communist Party.
Right.
So it was designed to destroy the Communist Party and the Socialist Workers' Party. So they were trying to destroy these political organizations, but failed to do so. And for whatever reason, they were only able to indict 141 people. And of those 141, 29 served time in prison. So a lot of people that they were trying to neutralize, they were able to walk away. And Hoover was not happy with that. So he says, look, we have to take other steps to reach our goal to destroy these political parties and organizations that go against what we want to do in this country. Is that what, do you get that same thing?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we don't reach our goal, we gotta go use covert measures to be able to reach our goal. So let's look at the Smith Act right quick. What is that?
It says the Smith Act, officially known as the Alien Registration Act of 1940, is a U.S. federal law that makes it a criminal offense to knowingly or willfully advocate, abet, advise, or teach the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying any government in the United States by force or violence, or organize or help to organize any society, group, or assembly of persons who teach, advocate, or encourage the overflow or destruction of any such government by force or violence, become or be a member of or affiliate with such society groups or a symbol of persons knowingly the purpose thereof. The law was initially passed in response to the rising fears of communism and fascism and the lead up to World War II. It was meant to be a tool to prosecute individuals and groups seen as a threat to national security defense.
But all that is bullshit. Why is that bullshit? Because what does the Constitution say? When you have a government that abuses its power and authority,
exactly,
you have a right to overthrow that mother. Don't it say that shit?
They sure do.
How the fuck you gonna make a law that go against the Constitution?
Yeah.
Now watch this, Maurice. On my end, it says the Smith Act made it a crime to advocate for the violent overthrow of the United States government or to be part of any group that does so.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean the Smith Act is greater than the goddamn Constitution? The act mandated that all non-citizen adults register with the government and be fingerprinted. That this stuff, no. The Smith Act was used to prosecute various political groups, including communists, but its use declined over time as concerns about domestic subversion diminished. Let's look at the pull up. Do me a favor. Pull up the preamble.
Okay.
Pull up the preamble to the Constitution. Is it the preamble to the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence? I think it's the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
I got it right here.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
The preamble to the Declaration of Independence outlines the core philosophical principles upon which the document is based and justifies colonial decisions to declare independence from British rule. It states that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and that the people have the right to alter or abolish a government that becomes destructive of their rights. You still there? Now you silent again.
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay. So it says you have the right to alter it or abolish it, and it does not say how you alter it or abolish it, but you got a right to do it.
Exactly.
And overthrow it, and you know that it's violent.
Exactly.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
The Smith Act. Who the fuck is Mr. Smith? I want to know who the hell he is, so I can go spit on his grave.
Exactly.
I think I got a picture of his ass right here. That might be him. I'm not sure. But it was named after the person who came up with this dumbass idea. And literally got people in prison for this dumb shit.
Exactly. Ain't no way.
So basically, if you're talking about workers, what did he say? Labor, what was it? Let me see. The Socialist Workers Party. So do you think that maybe perhaps they had a problem with unions, like people were trying to establish unions and fair pay and a modified work week where you now working 100 hours a week? You know, because
Most
Huey
definitely.
Long wanted 30 hours. They talking,
Exactly.
these people were working fucking day and night for $1.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's some bullshit.
It is. It
That's some
really, really
bullshit.
is. Yep. And you know, and I say this to those whites who so-called, you know, I'm such a patriot. I love this country. Man, shut the fuck up. You don't love a damn thing because you don't talk about the shit that you really need to be talking about. Because really, if you really love this country like you claim that you love this country, you will be out here trying to make everybody overthrow the government because the damn thing ain't worth a damn. But you lie. You lie. You really don't love America like you say you do. Because this thing has been taken. It has been taken. It's no longer on the course that it was originally set on. It's no longer. And they just too dumb to realize it. They really are. These white supremacists who love America, they're just too fucking dumb. These damn so-called patriot groups, too fucking dumb to actually read what the hell is going on. That this country's been taken while they've been watching. They don't love a damn thing.
Mm, mm, mm. I was trying to see what AI said about it. I was trying to say, like, what was the problem with it? What did the United States government at? Because see, we have to also put it into context and look at the United States government during this time period when they were just coming down from Jim Crow, but still not fully integrating and having policies that were fair
Mm-hmm.
and having a lot of Ku Klux Klan members who were in government at every level and every branch.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody was a threat who wanted change.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
these people would literally just make up laws, just make them up, pull them out their damn ass.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, the Socialist Workers Party, they're still around because I still get their emails.
Really?
Oh yeah, I kind of stay up on groups and stuff like that. Yeah, I still get their emails.
So was it a positive party or a negative party? Was it dangerous? Was it beneficial?
I think it was beneficial. I still think it's beneficial. It talks about what the rights are of the workers. They talk about, the Palestine situation. They talk about our situation. Um, I think it's a beneficial organization. They take on things that are done wrong and supposedly want it right. But I couldn't find no fault in what they say. What they write in their newspapers, I couldn't find no fault in it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I said, I still get their emails now, and I couldn't find no fault in it. I've never been to none of their meetings or anything like that, but yeah, from what they put out in their newsletter and emails, I can't find anything wrong with it.
Yeah, them racist government officials, they weren't trying to hear that shit because
Mm-mm.
they was loving having a foot on our goddamn neck.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reading about a news reporter. He was a white man who literally went undercover into the KKK because when they killed Harry and Harrietta Moore,
Mm-hmm.
there was no investigation for damn near I think he said 6 months.
Mm.
They done killed the damn husband, killed the wife, damn near killed the daughter and the mother. And there's no investigation whatsoever. Nobody's investigating this murder of this civil rights leader. And so this white man literally went undercover into the Klan. He
Mm.
joined the Klan. He saw their faces. He knew their secrets. He was going out on midnight rides, watching, taking notes and names and everything else, and literally took that info. And he said there was a governor, or it was some official And he said he just on a whim, he went over to this man, and there's some secret word or handshake or something that they do to identify each other as a Klansman. He was like, let me see if this motherfucking cracker a member of the Klan too. He's like, I don't know, but let me just see. So he did the little secrecy thing, and he was just so disgusted to know that I think this individual was a governor, was also a Klansman. Now, like, so many things were not investigated. So many cases were we lost. You understand? Like, people went to jail, white men being acquitted, investigations never taking place. You see the redaction of information in their records. People just walking away clean like nothing ever happened, because the same people that swore to uphold and defend the Constitution are the same people who were a part of COINTELPRO. And as we see, Edgar Hoover, he said what J. Edgar Hoover said, okay, that shit didn't work. We got to find something else. We got to find something else.
Oh, yeah.
And he said it was easy for the FBI to develop information for a CPUSA COINTELPRO of an estimated 8,500 members. 1,500 of them were FBI informants and provided a wealth of information on party structure, finances, and the personal lives of the membership. Remember, you just sent me something on the informants.
Exactly. Good Lord.
Hoover finally had to order his agents not to recruit any more informants unless they were in the highest policy making levels of the party. On August 28, 1956, the counterintelligence program USA began. It had so many people that was willing to give up information. He had to say, man, we can't take no more. But we also have to remember that if you committed a crime and you did not want to be held accountable and go to prison, you become an informant. If you cheating on your wife and you don't want her to know, if you a flaming homosexual and you don't want, because back then that wasn't popular.
Right.
You a child sex predator and you don't want that information to get out. You gonna become an informant. And there was so many readily available. He said it was easy to develop the program. How? They had informants.
Exactly.
That was giving them a wealth of information. We see that on First 48, Maurice. When they take them niggas in them goddamn interrogation rooms. Oh, he over there telling everything. He ain't said shit. That nigga ain't said nothing. But that's not what you went in the other room and said. You just said that nigga told us everything. You might as well go ahead and tell your side, goddamn it. Because he done told us everything. Now you sitting there biting your goddamn fingernails mad at your friend who really ain't said shit.
Exactly. Yep.
He say this shit easy. You know why? Because motherfuckers ain't got no integrity.
Exactly.
You literally got to be above. That's just how I feel. I don't know about anybody else. Live your life the way you want to live your life, but I want to take the high road. I just really want to take the high road. I don't like nobody dingling no shit over my neck. Cause I'll be like, bitch, tell them. I'll tell them before you tell them.
Right. Exactly.
I'll tell it, bitch. And what?
Exactly.
Because what you gonna do, bitch? I could do faster than you.
Exactly. Exactly.
You gotta have. I ain't got nothing. Man, I'll lose everything. Fuck it. Like, these people are crazy. 8,500 members. 8,500. That's a lot of people in this program.
Exactly.
You got an 8,500 manpower unit to bring down whoever, whatever. And it's so goddamn many. You got to say, you know what, God, we just like with this immigration thing, you got only a few positions available, but you got 80,000 applications and counting.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, I saw this thing today, where I think it's called Orange County. And Ron DeSantis said that he will remove the city council, he will remove the mayor. If they don't agree to work with the ICE, he removing all their ass out of office. And the mayor got on TV, said, look here, I'm going with the damn program because I'm not trying to get removed from office. I said, God damn.
Wait a minute. So at first the mayor was against it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
yep.
now he on board because he don't want to lose his position as a mayor.
Exactly. Now Ron DeSantis, that motherfucker done went gangster 10 times the power.
No, he done found some shit on him. Let me tell you something. Ron DeSantis don't play fair. You fuck with Ron DeSantis if you want to. Let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something. The black people was at peace. Black people was at peace, minding our fucking business until I really do believe Ron DeSantis put that goddamn information out about goddamn Andrew Gillum, and baby, it rocked Black America. Not only is he in the hotel, but we see the doodle stain on the bed.
Yes. Yes.
We see the goddamn doodle stain. We see the drugs. We got pictures. You with the cracker. God damn. We see the motherfucking toes. Oh shit. You was done. You was done. Andrew, you was done. Go sit your ass down. But you know, I think Andrew should run again. We know your team. We know your team.
Exactly.
But Ron DeSantis, he go fucking low to get shit. So everybody who wasn't on board, who getting on board, you better understand.
Exactly.
He got some information that they do not want to be exposed. They're still using the tactics today.
Exactly.
They still using the tactics. I remember one of my good friends I grew up with. When I got my master's degree, I thought I could get a job on my own merit. I really did. I'm that type of person. Because there were so many people that said you should go up into the supervisor position because you would do a great job. We believe in you. We like you. You fair. You know, we would love to work for you. And I was like, really? So I went and got my master's degree. I went for an interview and they put me on the list to hire. I never, ever got hired because they literally threw the list away, and now they pick and choose from their group of friends. So I got my master's degree before my friend did, and I never forget. He called me one day. He said, "Come to the party." I say, "What goddamn party are you talking about?" He say, "All the heavy hitters, all the supervisors, all the directors." He said, "Everybody, the higher ups." He said, "They at this fucking party." He said, "Come to this goddamn party." And I was like, I said, "You know what be going on at the party, right?" He said, "Yeah, but do you want to go up and get a position?" I say, "Yeah, but I'm not going to do it that way."
Right.
And so I did not go to the party. And he told me before he hung up, he said, they already told me to go get my master's degree. And when I do, they got a position waiting for me. I had already had my master's degree 3 years before him. He went to the party. He did the things at the party. They told him after he did it to go get his master's degree. And then they put him in a supervisory position. And guess what? He never asked me. And he told me, he said, when I get in a position, I'm going to pull you up with me. Guess what? He never did. As a matter of fact, I never heard from him again because I refused to go to the party. I said, that's not me.
Right.
I don't do shit like that.
Right.
And I never got put in the supervisor position to this day. And guess what? I don't fucking want it no more. I don't even want it anymore.
Right.
Because you're not going to pull me in different directions and tell me what the fuck to do and work me like a dog. And then if you do it one time, you got to do it every time they ask you to.
Exactly. That's right.
And you're not going to dangle that shit over my head. Oh, yes. So I think they had, Ron DeSantis, he ain't nothing to play with. That man right there, Yeah. He done
Yeah,
played.
when I first saw it in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, bro, who the fuck did you piss off? Because they got your shit wide open out here. Damn.
It don't even have to be pissing somebody off. Pissing somebody off is what did you do? What skeletons do you have in your closet? Because Maurice, when I was in college, I never forget. This white girl, we was just sitting there talking one day. She say, "You see this motherfucker right here?" She say, "All of them right there." She say, They in Congress." She say, "These motherfuckers in Congress." She say, "And they're fucking alcoholics and druggies."
Oh, wow.
They are. I'm telling you. I remember one day I was at the courthouse and I left the courthouse and I went to this guy's house that I was dating. One of the attorneys that was in the courtroom, when I got to my boyfriend's house, I saw him get out of taxi cab and come into my boyfriend's house and buy dope.
What?
And I'm looking at this motherfucker. I say, I just saw this goddamn. He was like an attorney. I said, I just saw this goddamn lawyer in the courtroom. He didn't. I don't think he saw me because he probably would have lit up and right. Well, I said that's a goddamn attorney. I just saw him in the courtroom. He came in the house, boy. He came in the house. He got his dope and he was in his suit. Got his ass back in that taxi cab and went probably back downtown to continue working. So they have vices. These people are not saints.
No, they're not.
These people are not saints. They have sex with children. They do drugs. They have homosexual relationships. They do orgies. They do schemes and scams. And these people are not angels.
No, they are not.
And they dig this shit up just like they dug up shit with Martin Luther King. And they use it against you. Having sex with co-workers and everything else. So it's not who he pissed off. What did they find out about you? One high-level informant was a security officer in the Central Committee of the CPUSA. According to former FBI agent Jack Levine, the security officer was responsible for discrediting loyal party members and granting clearances to others who were actually FBI plants. This tactic was one of many the Justice Department later admitted was a COINTELPRO action. On October 12, 1961, the FBI turned its insights on the Socialist Workers' Party. According to a memo signed by Hoover, the Social Workers' Party's sins included their support of Castro's Cuba, integration, and their sponsoring socialist candidates in local and national elections. So the Socialist Party was for integration as well?
Yeah, they were for everybody. They wasn't, against anybody except those that were rich and didn't want to share the wealth. They were strictly on economics and allowing people to live their lives, the best way. If it wasn't enough money for everybody to be able to live great, then nobody lived great. We all live according to, what we all need as individuals. That's their thing. But as long as businesses is making big money, then the people need to make big money. They need to share the wealth. They were
hold on. Maurice, who did we talk about in our Fall of America study that they shot in the state capitol who said every man a king?
Huey Long.
Yeah. He was into socialism.
Yep.
So he was a victim. And this was in 1935.
Yep. Sure was.
So this was in action before it was formal.
Exactly.
So COINTELPRO just made it formal, but it was already informal because they were already killing people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, you want to be an integrationist? Oh, you want every man to be a king? Oh, you want black people to have a better life? Oh, you want to support Castro? Okay, bitch, it's time for you to die.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
The next target group became those the Bureau termed white hate groups. 17 Ku Klux Klan chapters were targeted for COINTELPRO operations under a memorandum that included a subtle note of apology.
Mm-hmm.
As if, let's see what it says. It's that what it said they were targeted for COINTELPRO operations under a memorandum that included a subtle note of apology, as if to say that the problem might simply be a few bad apples in the barrel, Hoover wrote. Often these groups act without the approval of the Klan organization or membership when conducting attacks on civil rights workers and blacks.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. Remember the people that killed the two that killed Michael Donald.
You know, I don't believe that their leadership didn't know what the fuck they doing. I just have a hard time believing that. Because if you remember when they showed the video of them at their burning the cross thing and how much their mongrel race and this, that, the other thing, yeah, we gotta have separation today, tomorrow, and forever, and all that bullshit. You firing these motherfuckers up, you know they're gonna kill. You know they're going to kill. I believe the leadership knew it. I believe the leadership wanted that shit to happen.
But not every person they kill. Look how much shit go on under the boss's nose. Look at how much shit was going on in the Black Panther Party that Fred and Bobby didn't know nothing about that shit that was going on. So I don't think it's not that they did not know they were going to kill. They just did not know everyone that was killed, because some of these people were just going out doing dumb shit just because.
Yeah, they may not have known everybody who was going to get killed, but they knew their members were going to kill.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. They knew that. They knew that with a surety.
But he's saying often these groups act without the approval of the organization. So to me, he's saying, look, if you're going to kill somebody, you need to have the approval of the organization before you go out and do it. And every person that was killed or every black person that was lynched was not approved. It was just done. I think that's what I'm reading.
See, I read it as this motherfucker is laying the base and giving the organizational, the hierarchy, giving them the dismissive responsibility of being in charge of what your people do. He's dismissing them of the culpability that you knew about this shit. And they knew about it because of the simple fact that they kept feeding and feeding and feeding this shit to their members. So they knew that they were going to kill. Now, they may not have known who exactly the name is they're going to kill, but they knew that their members would kill black people like it ain't no motherfucking tomorrow.
Of course.
He knew, they knew that they would kill white people too. They knew it. Because these motherfuckers, when they draw the line and they establish that, they put this shit not only in the minds of their members, they put it in the hearts of their members. Remember, mind you, they bring their children to watch us die. They feed it all the way through to the seed. Yeah. And they know that it is going to sprout. It is going to grow. So yeah, they may not know the name of the individual blacks that got killed, but they know that their members are out there killing because that's what they raised them to do. That's what they inspired them to do. That's what they put it on them like it's a badge of honor. You must kill for the white race.
And
You must sure that the white race stay pure.
And what Maurice, it could have been a part of initiation, huh?
That's right. That's right. Oh yeah.
Oh, you want to be in the group? Okay, prove it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Most definitely. Most definitely. Mm-hmm.
With the expansion of the civil rights movement and the emergence of nationalism among blacks, look at that. With the expansion of the civil rights movement, it's expanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the emergence of nationalism among blacks,
Mm-hmm.
Hoover ordered the FBI to target black nationalist hate groups. Because you a black nationalist. That's what Elijah Muhammad said. Because I teach the truth, you say that I hate. Just say I teach the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We not a hate group.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that we a hate group?
Exactly.
Because we believe in separating ourselves from y'all and
Mm-hmm.
doing for ourselves and defending ourselves. Where the fuck you see hate at?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because we teach the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He say Hoover ordered the FBI to target them, black nationalist hate groups, for counterintelligence disruption. In a August 25th, 1967 memo, Hoover outlined the goals of the newest COINTELPRO, which was to expose, disrupt, misdirect, or otherwise neutralize the activities of black nationalist hate type organizations and groupings, their leadership, spokesmen, membership, and supporters. We got to pause on that.
Mm.
Get all of them.
Exactly.
The fucking members, anybody that support they ass, no matter who they are, whoever the goddamn spokesperson is, the fucking leader, every fucking body. Get them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You a target.
Mm-hmm.
That's a and you know he was a little something.
Exactly.
He was not a big man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little small little goddamn something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-mm-mm.
You want to speak on that?
Yeah, because it's very important. Very important. And see, they use that to us to this very day. What do they call it? Black extremists.
Yeah.
Black extremists. Now that's COINTELPRO right there. You know, and they work it, whether it's be overt or covert, it still works. You know, the government uses this term that you're a black extremist when you're really talking about black liberation. But they will label you as an extremist. Here's using their propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody put their finger on you because you said you an extremist. All they charge that I know of, one black guy with being a black extremist. And you know, eventually he got off because they couldn't get him convicted. All the weapons that he owned them outright, bought them outright. There was no thing that he did illegal. But because he talked about the freedom of our people, they used that propaganda, black extremists, and threw it on him because he loves his people. He loves his race. He want to make sure that his race is the best. He want to make sure that, you know, their eyes are open to what's truly going on instead of being asleep like sheep. So they use that propaganda title, that COINTEL program operative, and called him a black extremist.
Mm-hmm.
Took him to jail. He lost everything that he had. Took him to jail and couldn't get the damn thing, couldn't get him convicted of it. But shit, by that time, he done lost everything that he had, his job, his house, all that shit he lost, and he had to start the fuck back over. It is their objective to label us as hate groups, when at the reality is it, we're just telling the truth. We're just telling the truth. And it's not a truth that we made up, that we went in a room and conspired and said, let's come up with some lies. Let's come up with some rumors and say, this is what they did. This is their own history. This is their history. This is what they do. So for us to understand that they're looking to destroy us, they're looking not just to discredit you, but they want to get you all the way through the seed. That means all the way through the members, always through the members, the mindset of the members. Look, when the group, what was it? Stop fucking around or no fucking around crew.
Not fucking around. NFIC. Not fucking around.
Now them. Now when he came out on scene and started talking his yabba 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 yabba, and black people were starting to go that way and go, and I'm listening. I ain't said shit, but I'm listening because the shit don't make sense. And then when they went to Louisiana, now I'm telling our people, slow down. This don't seem as it should seem. It don't fucking make sense. First of all, if you're going to do a black militia, that's not some shit that you're going to publicize on Instagram, Facebook every fucking day. You're not going to publicize your meetings out there every fucking day. You're just not going to do it because it doesn't make sense. This is something that you're going to do under the ground. You ain't going to do it on top of the ground in front of everybody. This nigga goes out and he meets with the police department and all that in Louisville. And he says to them, give me something warm and fuzzy so I can take back to the members. When that nigga said that, red lights went off, bing, 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 bing. Because when he said, give me something warm and fuzzy, military term, that means give me some bullshit so I can take back here and settle my people with.
Who did he say that to?
He said that to the police people in Louisville that he was supposed to have been working with to get justice for the sister that got shot up. And that's what he told them. Give me something warm and fuzzy.
God damn. That's a military code.
Exactly. So when I heard that, I said, oh shit, this nigga is lying. The fix is in. Don't follow him. And I put that shit out. And, some people wasn't very happy that I stood up and said, don't go that way. But I was 1,000% right. I was 1,000% right. When they started showing this motherfucker that at one time he was doing security for Donald Trump. And it's like, wait a minute. You're going to follow this nigga who was on Donald Trump's security as he running for president? This shit don't make sense. He's talking about giving me warm and fuzzy, and you motherfuckers eating this shit up. He's telling y'all, come on with your guns, come on this, and the people ain't even trained and they shooting each other. And you still following this shit. And he get all of their fucking information, what kind of guns they got, where they live at, what cars they drive, and they telling y'all, yeah, come meet here. And then all of a sudden, he get down there and he point his gun up to the top of the roof where the police are, and they told him prior to that, don't do that or we will come and arrest you. And he does it. He gets arrested. The FBI comes in and take all of their information. All of the information. So these motherfuckers got now who you are, what you got in your home, where you are in your home, what kind of car you drive. They got all that information on your ass. Because you popped up to the first person singing, let's go start killing, do this, all this bullshit. He said, when we go to Louisville, and if they come out after us, we're going to deal with them. What happened? He get his troops out there on the street and they march out to a point. and here come the cracker. The white supremacists come out and they march out and they right behind them. Now this nigga don't say, all right, get in fighting formation and aim and get ready to shoot. This nigga says, okay, here we go. We're going to move to another spot. What? You just talked all this shit about if white folks show up and they bring that racist shit, that you was going to handle business. They show up and you say, okay, y'all, let's go forward movement. Let's get out of here and move your troops to a different area. See, all that shit. COINTELPRO. All that shit. You jumping up, moving, getting shit, think you getting involved because you really want to see a change and you really want to shoot these motherfuckers up because they earned it. But shit, the person that you decided to follow was a faker in the first place. Was not real with you in the first place. A motherfucking government agent out there to lure you, to catch you and get all your information. So when the shit go down, they know who the first ones to make sure that they round them up or kill them, get rid of them. This is no accident. This is not by some surprise. This is designed. Modern COINTELPRO right there in front of your face.
But you know, Maurice, the crazy thing about the NFAC or NFIC, I think it's NFAC, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, this nigga is collecting information.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get all these niggas locked up or in jail.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt that it was something about him that wasn't right,
mm-hmm.
and that he put this organization together to go undercover and start gathering intel to give it over to the United States government. Because although they say that he's in jail, who's to say that he's at prison? They say he's in prison doing 7 years. Who's to say that he's actually in prison?
Exactly.
They can get all that. He can go do whatever the fuck they assigned him to do.
Exactly.
Get all that information, jam them niggas up, and then they gonna say they put him in prison, but they don't put his ass on special assignment.
Exactly.
While they got all your goddamn information, doing what the fuck they gonna do to put your ass behind bars too.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was a goddamn special, wasn't he a special agent with the United States government? Remember wasn't he like a security officer for the president or some shit? How the fuck you a goddamn security officer for the United States president, but now you NFAC?
Exactly.
And I remember one day he was at this apartment complex talking about his secret fucking location during the interview. You outside of the goddamn apartment complex. I could look and see the goddamn other complexes in the distance, and your ass sitting outside like you goddamn a fucking undercover cop. But bitch, you outside doing a whole interview talking about this your secret location. You can't be fucking. Like, you think we that dumb? You can't fucking think we that dumb. Just marching out, just marching out, and nobody's there. A whole fucking formation, and no fucking body is there. You just doing it for the limelight. Them goddamn black men did not see that was a problem.
Nope.
And not to trust that man.
Nope.
They just marching out. Remember they did the little procession, and the goddamn white people were nowhere there.
Exactly. Yep.
Y'all got all the guns, the fatigues and shit, the boots and shit, and it was like nobody was there.
Exactly.
It was all for show.
Yep. That's exactly.
And when he pointed that gun at that officer, he knew what he was doing. He was told to do that. He gathered a lot of information, a lot of phone calls, emails, text messages, conversations, and that's a problem. But look what we just read, Maurice. We just read what? Informants.
Yep.
So they could have got them people jammed up and said, okay, let me tell you something. Now, you know we got this information on you. You was in the NFAC. We got this information on you. Let's start talking, nigga.
Exactly.
Because this shit that we know this 20 years right here, nigga. You finna start talking. So this is a part of their tactics.
Oh yeah.
That's why I don't get involved in all this YouTube shit and social media shit and going here and there. I don't have time for that. I really don't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a damn shame.
And then the nigga got on this YouTube with what is that damn no good nigga name? Jesse you know
the little ugly man who talk like he got a nasal problem.
Yes.
Ooh,
yes.
I hate him. I fucking hate him.
Me too. I hate that motherfucker. But he was on his show and they just hugging, having a good time, best buddies. And he was like, hey, let me come back on you. Yeah, you come back anytime you want. Me and you good friends. Best buddies.
Wow.
How the fuck that's gonna be your friend and you for black people? Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way.
And then he sit there with his little black clothes and his black glasses and shit. Like, you don't know how the fuck you look.
Exactly.
I just cannot. If you that goddamn dumb to follow behind, no. If you that damn dumb,
exactly. Ain't no way.
Ain't no goddamn way. So let me know when you get ready to stop because we can always we can go straight to 9 o'clock and then stop because we on page 3. We just doing what we do.
Right.
So 6 months later, right? So this is 6 months later after it said August 25th, 1969. That's when the memo goes out. And it says, so 6 months later on February 29, 1968, Hoover expanded the Bureau's position on the counter. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. Hoover expanded the Bureau's position on the COINTELPRO Black Nationalist Program with a memo that outlined 5 specific goals. Number 1, prevent coalitions of black groups. No coalitions. We don't want it. Can't happen. When they say coalition, what does that actually mean? Like groups from forming political groups?
Yeah, from groups coming together and to be able to operate as one group. They want to prevent the coalition of all these black groups coming together.
Prevent the rise of a black messiah, such as, well, we don't look at Martin Luther King as no goddamn messiah, but prevent the rise of a black messiah, such as Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elijah Muhammad. Y'all mentioned Stokely on the show as well. What was Doc saying about Stokely?
Yeah, because I was wondering what was Stokely Carmichael's position on the Republic of New Africa. And Doc said, it depends on what side of the bed Coakley wakes up to. And I'm like, wow, really? So he says that Coakley was more of a cultural nationalist and not a revolutionary black nationalist. So, other words, he's saying Coakley was just in there for the dashiki and the nice talk, but wasn't really in there for the building up of a real strong black power revolutionary group to change. That's
I heard him say that. I heard Doc say that. He just want to win a dashiki and the beads and shit, and like what the black power fits, huh? Really?
Yeah. So I was shocked about that because I didn't know that.
Would you think that Umar Johnson is a cultural revolution? What you said, a cultural what now?
Yeah, a cultural nationalist.
Would you say that Dr. Umar Johnson is a cultural naturalist?
I wouldn't really even give him much credit to say he's a cultural nationalist. He's just a liar. He's just a liar. He's nothing but just a damn liar. That's what he is. No, I don't think, because I would believe that even a cultural nationalist loves our people. That nigga, he don't love our people. He doesn't love our people. So I would not even give him that title. He doesn't love them. No, his ass loves money. He loves money, and
Yeah.
he's using our people as a fucking payday. I mean, I didn't look. I didn't know how much money he actually collected. I didn't know it because in my heart of heart, I wanted him to do good with the school and all that shit, you know. And just to see all of this really as it is, then it lets me know that nigga never loved our people. He saw the opportunity to make money, and that's what he did. He used our people as a fucking ATM machine. Mm-mm.
He running through these women.
Oh my God.
When I say he running through these women, and like he promises women things that he know he can't deliver. And they are so gullible and naive and in love with him that they take him, you know, they take what he say at face value, but he finds reasons to break his vows, you know. And that's real sad when you make these women think that you're going to be in a relationship with them and love them and marry them and have children with them, only to get in their panties. And then he already knows that he's not fit to be a husband because he's not financially well together. But after you sell her dreams and have sex with her, now you come up with a reason to drop her like a hot potato. That's a nasty ass nigga right there.
Exactly.
That's a nasty ass nigga. That's a nasty ass nigga. And God ain't pleased with that.
Oh no.
God ain't pleased with that.
Mm-mm.
Yep, he's promising these women relationships and marriage. Go have sex with them, and then you're not the one, or your vagina is this and that, or yeah, he like whew, whew, I have to breathe on the shit that this man does. He's just running through these women, and it's sad. He's never going to open up these schools. Never.
No, he's not. He's not.
And the reason why he got the schools at such a significant discount is because they were in such disrepair. They were in such disrepair that the only alternative was to really, tear the schools down and build something else. But he stepped in to buy the schools. But the hopes was that he would bring the buildings back to restoration. You know how like HUD have these dollar homes where you can buy a home for $1?
Right.
They don't have many, but there are instances where you could buy a HUD home for $1, $500, but it's in such bad disrepair that you're getting it because they want you to renovate it.
Exactly.
They don't want to renovate it. They want someone to come in and invest it and bring it back to to a nice condition. But that school was in major disrepair.
Wow.
So yeah, he's saying here, so prevent your Martin Luther Kings, prevent your Stokely Carmichaels, your Elijah Muhammads. We don't want these people. Just stop them, neutralize them, right?
Exactly.
Prevent violence. What the fuck is that? Prevent violence. They using violence to stop violence.
Exactly.
Prevent Black groups and leaders from gaining respectability, and then prevent the long range growth of Black groups, especially, oh, there you go, Maurice, in their recruitment of the youth.
Yep. Yeah, that's what he knew. If you can grab the youth, you can grab the mind of the youth, and they're going to see what they see as they grow up. It's going to make them hard against the government. It's going to make them hard against white folks, and it'll shut the door on it. That's why, when we looked at that video earlier today, and I said, I wonder what happened to the young brother. How did he turn out? Because he was strong. He was strong. But we just don't know, did he stay the course? We don't know, what happened to him.
Can you imagine if he would have got under the tutorship or tutelage of Khalid Muhammad?
Oh my God.
He would have been around. Hey, you imagine that young brother with Khalid Muhammad? Yeah. Because he was already ready to tear some shit up.
Exactly.
He said, you better not say nothing else.
Exactly.
He said, you better not say nothing else. The only thing I hate about what that young brother did, he gave his address.
Oh yeah.
He should have never gave his fucking address. Because he made himself a goddamn target to go pick his ass up because he's pressure.
Exactly. Exactly.
He wasn't well versed yet. You could tell that people was getting in his head.
Right.
But you know, he was on it.
Yep, he sure was. He sure was. Look here, I'm gonna tell you, when Dr. Khaled, they were Minister Farrakhan was in Atlanta, not Atlanta, in LA, and he was speaking there. I believe it was on Stop the Killing. And the motherfucking fake Jews came out talking about kill Farrakhan and all this bullshit. And Khaled grabbed the FOI and he started giving out assignments. You doing this, you doing this, you doing this. And when he said charge, we going after the motherfuckers. And over there, you would see some damn crackers dropping their sticks and shit and running their ass away because they're not really about that life. Khaled was about that life. He didn't have a problem with saying your ass is going. And look, the FOI did not have a problem following. Didn't have a problem following and saying, okay, we with you. I mean, he even gave, look, you get in the truck and you run these motherfuckers over and you don't never stop. And the shit would have been done. It would have been done. I'm telling you, if them ADL motherfuckers would have stayed around that day, they'd have got their ass whooped. They'd have got their ass whooped. Good fashion. And the news reporter even was like, you know, the ADL came out here pretty strong, but they couldn't deal with the mighty FOI. I said, that's right. And you know, that spirit, that's how Brother Khaled was. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That's how Brother Khaled was. And, you know, even me, I took a lot from Brother Khaled. When I was in Nashville and I was a lieutenant, and the minister, our local minister, was speaking at a local church up the street from the mosque, and I got reports that there's gunfire in the damn park. So I'm like, oh, it's gunfire in the park. I grabbed up 4 or 5 FOI, and we ran straight to the park. I mean, we got there before the police, and the black people were there. They were like, oh, shit, y'all here? Y'all got here before the police. And we're out there looking, where's the shots coming from? Who got the gun? This, that, and the other thing. And, you know, we couldn't find nobody. Everybody was dispersed or whatever. And we went on back to where the local minister was. And, you know, a few brothers did come to me and was like, bro, I can't fuck with you. I can't ride with you. He said, you chase bullets in the dark. You chase bullets in the dark. I don't have that kind of faith like you to chase bullets in the dark. I said, brother, what you need to do, you go listen to Dr. Khaled. You listen more to the minister, and that shit it won't even bother you. You on your assignment, and you're able to just go out and take. Trust and believe. The FOI is the most dangerous physical group that we have in America, because these brothers, they will kill straight up. They will literally handle business straight up. And it is such a very beautiful thing. But this is why J. Edgar Hoover said they wanted to prevent violence, because they don't want a group to be able to respond to violence. They want you like, what was the dude, Meeks, Reverend Meeks, in the video, talking about what he tell the little brother, because you don't have my savior or some shit like that, giving him that Christianity bullshit to make him water it down, to make him not be as black and as strong as he was. Because that's what COINTELPRO, the FBI, all of them, that's what they want to water you down. In the and this will be my last thing, in the report on riots, they wrote that the Black youth have found a backbone that their parents didn't have. They found a Black pride to stand up on and to go to war on. And they had to break that backbone. They had to break that pride. That's where it goes and prevent Black groups and leaders from gaining respectability. Mm-hmm. Prevent the long-range growth of Black groups, especially in their recruitment of youth. If they could break that, then they know the youth ain't gonna be attracted to it because it's too weak. It's too watered down. That's why they're not there in the church, because it's too fucking weak. There's nothing there that says that I'm Black and I'm strong. What's there says that I'm weak and I'm even getting weaker. And I'll pray for you because you misuse me. I'll love you because you killed me. And that's an automatic rejection. And that's why the church can't hold on to, are not attractive to our youth. They're just not. They're just not. The church is an arm of the federal government in their COINTEL program. That's actual facts. That's actual facts.
Yep. Have we had a youth group as, I don't know if I want to use the word powerful, but I remember watching those Panther Kids. They had a police officer, a white police officer. The Panther Kids, they was out on the block. Have you ever seen that video? The Panther Kids was outside and the police officer walked up to the little girl thinking that he could say something nice to her. And she was like, something, I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, leave me alone, you pig. I mean, he was little, he wasn't like the little regular racist police officers. He, because you got some police officers that are not like the other ones. Let's just leave it at that. Right. And he was really just trying to be nice to the little girl. She had to be like 7, 8, 9 years old. And he was like, hi, little girl, how are you? She was like, leave me alone, you pig. They had put it in their mind that this goddamn officer, he's a fucking foul ass pig. And you treat them as such. You talk to them as such. You hate them with a passion. Yep. They didn't want that.
Exactly.
They didn't want that. To see all of them as murderers. All of them bad.
That's right. Yep.
They didn't want that. So my question, before we close out, have we had any powerful youth programs after the Panther babies or no?
You've had, of course, the junior FOI, the junior MGT. You have those. But outside of that, Dr. Khaled was working. And I really wish he was able to finish his work, because he would have developed the quote unquote new Black Panther Party the same way that the FOI and the MGT was developed. And that's what he would have put in them. And so even if we can remember back to the Million Youth March that took place in New York City, and the way Brother Khaled was teaching them that, if the police put their hand on you, break their neck and all this shit, they try to fight you, you fight back. And the government understood there's no control in this nigga. He's not going to simmer down. He's not going to get to a certain point and says, I've arrived, so let me be more diplomatic. He's just not going to be that. And so I believe from that point, they knew we got to get rid of this nigga. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. we got to get rid of him. And the plans begun to actually get rid of him. Because there has never been a quote unquote leader that told Black children, teenagers, to fight the police if they put their hands on them. And the police understood that these Black teenagers would have done exactly what Khaled told them to do. They understood that. They understood that greatly. And they knew, we got to get rid of this nigga because he's not going to tame it down. Mm-hmm. He's going to get more and more and more, and the people will follow. People will follow. And they said, let's go ahead and end this. And they put situations together and got our brother out. So outside of those, no, there is no Black group like that. There is none. And the reason there is none, because none want to take the responsibility of when this fight actually happens, that people will look at and say, you told them to fight back when you should have told them not to. Mm-hmm. Because parents are going to get upset because some children may die.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, it is the price that we pay because freedom is the goal. And since that is the goal, then life will be lost on both sides. Mm-hmm. It will be lost on both sides. So, no, they don't want to pay that price. They don't even want to look at that price, but that price is coming.
All right. And that being said, that's part one.
Yes, ma'am.
Look like we're going to have a part two. We're going to have a part two, part three. Oh, Lord. This is going to be a series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's 9 o'clock. This is series. We're not going to go late with this one because we just chilling. We just chilling. Mm-hmm. So what was the most profound thing that you learned tonight, or something that was very interesting to you tonight based upon what we read?
That when they broke this Black propaganda down, there's actually Black propaganda and white propaganda. And it really, really interesting that the Black propaganda, they use that and they use it from a position of an authority figure coming out and saying this to discredit their target. And the information that they're using has some truth in it. Now, white propaganda is stuff that they just throw out there and they say a source is named that this is how this goes. Oh, some sort, we got a source from the White House, or we got a source from inside the group that said this, you know. So when they do it that way, then they're using white propaganda. But when they try to use somebody with a quote unquote authority, it's Black propaganda. So, you know, these motherfuckers, they're very skillful in their art of lying.
Exactly. They have goddamn PhDs and they go to school to learn how to fucking lie.
Exactly.
And he said they were your liars from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes.
They go take goddamn workshops.
Yes.
Master's degrees and PhDs in manipulation and lies. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And they can sprinkle in some truth in that shit too.
Yep. Exactly. And you know, it goes back to when I was working with the reparation group in ADOS, and they were like, we need to use propaganda. I said, no, you don't. Because you get on the stage with somebody and you throwing out your propaganda, if they fucking smart, they know they will eat you up, because all propaganda is lies. You have the truth. There's no need to add a lie to the truth and watch you get ate up and can't nobody come save your ass because you start to mix in lies. That's what the enemy does. And you don't need to do that. You don't have to do that. So I hope that our people begin to see things strategically and understand the depths of the lies that this enemy of ours uses. I hope that they understand, as you said it during the Fall of America, that when you're looking at these movies that they coming in, you're looking at what's in their mind. You gotta tie it together because they use that against us in real life. And we're not being aware of it like we should. We have to begin to pay attention because they're using this stuff and they're so skilled. They're so artful with how they do their devilishment.
Yep. What did Malcolm say? What you talking about? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Malcolm said, what are you talking about? He said, masters at what they do. Mm-hmm. They're masters at manipulation and lies.
Yes.
They know what they're doing. They have nothing but time. And what did we just read? They got people that's studying to do all this shit on the military base.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's some people's assignment is combat.
Mm-hmm.
Some people's assignment might be goddamn in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Some people's assignment may be flying the goddamn planes. Mm-hmm. Some people gonna be in that goddamn boardroom conjuring up lies and shit.
Exactly.
And propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of their fucking agenda, and people get paid to do it with full benefits and retirement. And they're destroying lives, crippling organizations, killing people, ruining reputation while they get a goddamn paycheck, go on vacation, and get retirement.
Exactly.
And then they go and laugh about it years later and sit around the goddamn campfire with beers and cigars and laugh about this shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The lives that they have destroyed. Look at Martin's brother. How the fuck you drown and you a professional swimmer?
Exactly. That
you drown in a pool. And you a professional fucking swimmer and no water was found in your lungs? All right, you can close us out. We're gonna do part 2.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Well, we thank everybody for coming out and joining with us and sitting with us as we go over this for 2 hours and 22 minutes. I want to thank Earth Angel 1105 Remix. Thank you for coming out, Queen, and supporting us. We want to thank Prolific #1. Walaikum salam, big bro. We're glad that you came out and joined us. What's that? K-Frame Classic. Peace and blessings. Thank you for coming out. Keon Cooper. Peace and blessings. Thank you for coming out. Emerald Modesty. Peace and blessings, Queen. Thank you for coming out. Big bro, Willie Rivers. Peace and blessings, bro. Thank you for coming out. We want everybody to please like, share, subscribe, share the video, let other people know and understand what is going on, because this information is the information that we need. You got any closing comments, Queen, before I shut it down?
No, this was fun. I like this. I ain't gonna lie. This is fun. I like to learn. This shit, we ain't gonna be good for nothing. After this, we just, Lord, I ain't gonna never get no damn man. I'm gonna have to start being a little ratchet every now and then. I'm gonna go to Atlanta and make a week's worth of ratchetness, because I can't have this type of shit and get no damn man. Because they be want to talk about dumb shit. I be want to talk about shit like this.
Right, exactly.
But it's all good. It was fun. Thank you very much for having me back. We'll be back next week.
Always, exactly. So as we always say, you kill the nigga in you, I'm going to kill the nigga in me, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first, today, tomorrow, and forever. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.
And fuck you, COINTELPRO.
That's right.
All right.
better get the message and get it straight.
You're gonna need some bridge work. It's simple as that.
Because we're living in judgment. We're living in implementation.